Bird's Eye View.
Hello again. Welcome back to Bird's Eye View. I don't even remember what episode this is at this point, 4 or 5, but we're back with a great guest, somebody internal to Skylar, and somebody who's going to provide some insight, not only into the work that we're doing, but into some of the other stuff that we're doing to keep the team connected in a quite literal sense. But on a personal side of things, right now, obviously summer's here. I guess we are safe saying that now. I don't think it's going to snow anymore. June is finally here. Got the opportunity to see some friends at a birthday party for a dear friend of ours this past weekend, and that was a lot of fun to see people socially distanced, of course, but we did get to enjoy a beverage from several meters away. So that was nice. Still can't wait to get back to some type of reality. And that being said, apparently the golf courses are back open. So my number's below. Call me. Let's go. Today we have a really interesting guest on. You may have seen on a variety of social media platforms in the last couple of weeks. We had a little bit of a lead up and then a big celebration of, which was actually a roast. It was David Tucciarone's 15th year at Skylar. Started off as a summer student, and I don't even know what he did that summer. But obviously it's gone from that 15 years ago to now 15 years ago, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore unless I talk to Dave and figure that out. So I'm going to welcome David to the program right now. David, welcome to Bird's Eye View.
Thanks, Kyle. Glad to be here.
Glad you could make it. So let's jump right into some of the fun stuff. We celebrated your anniversary last week at Skylar, May 12th. It was 15 years. Our relationship being what it was or is, I decided that a roast was probably the right way to do it. But we brought all kinds of special people. We had some friends involved. We had your family involved, your wife, of course. We had pro wrestlers, pro comedians. Jesus even made an appearance. So with that being the culmination of all those things, how has the last 15 years been at Skylar, Dave?
Well, to sum it all up, the last 15 years has been great. I wouldn't have been here for 15 years if it wasn't great. So it's been amazing. And I can't say enough about just working at Skylar, with the people at Skylar, with our clients, everybody. It's just been fantastic. So having everybody roast me, it was a lot of fun. It really was. I'm surprised there weren't more people lined up, to be honest with you. And people could have got a little harsher. Even the president of the United States.
Yeah, it became a little bit of a labor of love. It was, how do we toe the line between being, a little bit respectful or what should we just send you after the fact so you can watch it in your own private time, But I think we toed the line pretty well.
I think so. There was a couple in there. I really got me laughing, but you can tell some people held back too. So
yeah, and I don't know why. I certainly didn't. And other than your mother and father, I don't get why anybody would.
Yeah.
For anybody who's watching this, please visit our YouTube channel or any of the other variety of social media platforms that we have. Watch the video. It's a few minutes long, but Jesus, it's worth it. And you'll learn more about Dave in that roast than you will by talking to him for 3 hours. I promise you.
It's true.
We had a great time filming that, though.
I can't thank everybody enough. That was awesome.
Yeah, good. Well, listen, it's weird, right? Because we're trying to do things in a way, and our work has certainly adapted and adjusted. But, you mentioned it. The thing that's great about Skylar is the people. And it's not just the people that we work with, but the people that we work for. And, I feel like we have relationships with all these people. And that's kind of the shitty thing about right now. We understand why we're doing it, and we are doing it. And I think everybody's being very responsible. While it was fun, the best thing would have been if we had a party, right? And that would have been the thing where, as I can see you're doing right now, we shared a drink that we wouldn't have to do over 7,000 miles of fiber optic cable. Right?
Exactly. No, well, you know what? That's part of I guess the celebration of my 15 years is having everybody just come together. Period. Like regardless of if it was for my 15th year anniversary or not, everybody was there. A lot of people were there. It was just awesome. So yes, you can't do it in person, but sometimes it's not what it's about. It's just about people being there and roasting you. That's it. It's the true love is there.
Think we always seem to default to roasting each other, not just you, but everybody, no matter where we are together, right? Even our late Friday Zoom calls with each other, we seem to have quite the banter going back and forth.
If there's a time to laugh, it's now. So
yeah, it's a time for a lot of things. Certainly, it's a time for innovation. It's time for adaptability or to adapt. It's time to laugh. It's time to find positivity everywhere we can. So 15 years. Any memorable moments, any milestone, other than the actual years themselves we've obviously had a very successful last couple of years. And I don't just mean that in terms of revenue necessarily, but, really transitioning the business from one focus to quite another over the last, 10 years almost. Certainly the last couple of years has really seen a lot of that come to fruition. You had a lot to do with much of that.
You know what? To be honest with you, there's a lot of memorable moments, and I can't narrow it down to just one or two or three or whatever it is, because to be somewhere for 15 years, anywhere for 15 years, there's a lot of good things that need to happen. But overall, like, you can't just pinpoint it down to one thing. So you can broadly talk about your customers or your clients. You can talk about the people that you work with. Obviously, you're there. You see them more than you see your actual family. Not to mention the fact that your family is very understanding of the long hours you work and how hard you work and whatnot, and they appreciate it. So they do get a lot of credit with this as well. So honestly, like, any specific memorable moment, I can't say that there's one more valuable than the next, because it's accumulation of the last 15 years.
Well, we did have some pretty interesting times though. You started in university, and
I did.
You were literally in the desk across from me. You had a very small office back then that we all shared. And I remember like flinging elastics at you or having elastic wars, or we had to ban tennis balls in the office because we would fire them at each other and we were breaking monitors. Like, I want everybody to know how serious we are at work, that these are the types of rules that we have to implement and why.
We've banned any type of sport, period, fruits, because those got tossed around every once in a while. We've even broken monitors and computers because of it. I'm pretty sure we banned baseball at one point because I kept beating you.
That all being said, everybody, I'm going to put on my fantasy championship ring, which if you watch the roast of David, you'll get to understand a little bit more. Dave, do you have one of these by any chance?
I do, actually, yes.
I have 13 of them. How many do you have?
I have a couple.
Okay. All right. I think you might have one. I'll put it back so you can see it.
Can't see it. It's too small.
Okay, look, we've talked about people. We've talked about, the variety of memorable moments that maybe there aren't any specific ones, but that they all kind of culminate together into a positive experience. But projects, what about, the biggest project or the project that you had to work hardest at, or the one that,
There's been a couple. The most memorable and the most recent and the biggest to date is the Alectra utilities website. We took 5 legacy websites into one, and it took quite a while. It took 13, 14 months, 15 months to get that pushed through. But it was fun. It was challenging. You got to learn a lot about yourself and a lot about other people as well, and how you work under pressure, how they work under pressure. But overall, I think one of the best parts about it is that everybody on both sides, on the Alectra side and on the Skylar side, everybody had the same goal, and nobody gave up. So it was pretty good. It was a lot of fun. To date, that was probably the biggest project that I personally have worked on at Skylar.
Yeah, and it was a great success, and I applaud you for that, because we knew when we took it on that it was going to be something that we'd have to work hard at to be successful at, and you did. You and your entire team and their team knocked it all out of the park.
Yep, no, everybody. You got to attribute the success to both teams, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Moving on to, I guess, some other work-related stuff. You're a VP of operations in addition to a senior account director, and in that dual type role, obviously, directing some of our major accounts and growing them and building them. You're also responsible for a lot of the things that just make Skylar tick. One of them being our IT. We do have an IT third party who is responsible for our IT, but Dave is responsible for kind of aggregating our needs and making sure that they get served. The internet has been an ongoing issue over the years, and that's just been a running joke, even though it's not entirely Dave's fault. But look, we're in a situation right now where almost overnight we had to switch to having the odd person working from home to everybody working every day from home. You inherited that role almost by default, but what did you do to ensure that, we could make that transition and make that transition real quick?
So like I said before, you're put in a position where you don't have a choice, and that's it. You just get it done. Again, I can't say that I did everything by myself, because it takes teams of people to do it. I may help facilitate some of it, but it takes a lot of people to do it. Thankfully, over the last few years, we've upgraded our IT, we've upgraded our infrastructure, we've upgraded our software, and it allowed us to have an easier transition into working from home. Overall, like you put the needs of the company and everybody working comfortably from home over, I guess, myself essentially, because I could still work from the office for a few days while everybody else couldn't, right? So, and that's what I did. Despite the running jokes, I think everything's been all right.
We literally had to get the mayor's office involved to make this happen. So I don't think it's fair to blame it all on you. I think we both agree that we're surprised at how much more we can do than we thought we would. I think we're maybe not more productive than we are at the office, but certainly there are less distractions because you can shut things off here in this setting. But how have you been reacting to it? What's the work from home COVID life been like for you?
Overall, it's been working well. I'm able to get a lot of work done. I do save time in driving into the office and driving home from the office. So those few hours that I do spend throughout the day, I'm actually working. So I'm able to get more done. But beyond that, it's quiet for me when I need it to be. So the transition for me is more in getting comfortable with using my softwares on a different level than I normally would for the last 15 years at Skylar. I'm used to going into work, even pre-Skylar, sitting at a desk, working on that computer. You have everything there for the last 15 years. So now changing that overnight, a little bit of a shakeup, but it's been okay. Like you adjust and you make it work.
And I think we're starting to reprioritize some of the things that we thought were ultra important. I mean, we'd still like to get back to some type of what was normal, but it doesn't have to be the exact same thing. I think we're both open to, I don't know, something different moving forward whenever this, quiets down and we're able to really flatten the curve.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Like you, this is research. So it's working. Everybody's working the exact same, which is why I think it's working so well. But once this all subsides, things are going to change again, and it's going to be a learning curve once again. Once we get there, we'll deal with it.
You've been able to keep in touch with your family and friends and all that stuff. I'm going to guess using technology and stuff like that. I know I've run into you a couple times from 20 feet away.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, you're right. You can have your WhatsApp calls or your house party calls, and you do it with family. Things that you probably wouldn't do if you were seeing each other. So playing games like that virtually on the drop of a hat is a heck of a lot different than going somewhere for 6 hours and trying to get a board game out, which we never really did. The odd drive by, saying hello through a window, that kind of thing. It's a little bit different. It just makes you realize how important it is to be around your friends, to be around your family, to be around people that you work with, that you talk to on a daily basis. But overall, keeping in touch with my family has been through technology, like you said. So it's been good.
I mean, a lot of opportunities for some funny stuff to happen. Any funny stories that's kind of COVID related? I see that, your haircut's a little bit funny. You must have had that done fairly recently.
Yeah, my wife's
legal haircut?
It's legal, as you can probably tell. It is legal, meaning my wife did it. She's been bugging me for a few weeks now. I've been putting her off. I'm busy. I have work to do, but she finally got me yesterday, and we spent an hour and a half cutting my hair. And some people said it looks good. They're probably lying, but it's okay. We'll do it again.
It looks okay. It looks better than mine. I haven't had anybody touch my hair in 3 months, so.
Your wife should do it.
Yeah, no, I'll just leave everything alone right now. Okay, so off of the funny part of your hair, is there any other funny stories? Anything that's happened that?
It's just been probably the same as everybody else. You don't try not to cook too much, try not to bake or eat too much, and you try not to drink too much because you can't go to the gym and burn anything off ananymore. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty.
I agree with all of that, Dave, except for the don't drink too much.
Yeah.
So here's to the other things at least.
Yeah.
Well, listen, 15 years, it's an amazing number. Honestly, couldn't have imagined that, that when you first started that you would have been here 15 years later or been at Skylar 15 years later. It's been a wild ride. It's been, like you said, a lot of ups, been a few downs. We've seen 1 million people come and go. Not our clients, of course. When they come, they stay. But, it's really been amazing. And I think that, in the transition and in our successes and in our ongoing goals that we've set, you have, as much of a role as anybody to play in it. So thank you. Congrats and stay safe and keep drinking through COVID.
Yeah. Thanks, Kyle. You as well.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was fun. Dave spending 15 years at Skylar was something that certainly we didn't expect, but, something that I'm very proud of. And the most impressive part of that is that that's not even my longest tenured hire. My very first hire, celebrating a 20-year anniversary, which you'll hear about very soon. And I encourage you to, again, follow us, listen, and find out what's going to happen with that, because we've got a lot of fun stuff playing around that, of course, as you would expect from Skylar. Anyways, listen, everybody, go outside, enjoy the weather. I'm hoping that whenever you're watching this, it's nice out, because it certainly is right now. I'm going back outside right now, and I'll see you on the next episode of Bird's Eye View. Cheers.
Bird's Eye View.